Okay, here it asks us to solve the addition problem and then write the sum in standard form. And we're going to use a place value chart if necessary. So the first one says 1/10 plus 2/10 is equal to how many tenths, and then we're going to write that as a standard decimal. So I'm going to use the place value chart for this. So this is part A. I'm going to start down here. Part A goes with part A. So we have 1 what? 1/10. Okay, so I'm going to put a 1 in the tenths place, and then I also have another 2/10, so I can add in another 2/10. We could also do this using dots. I add 1 in the tenths place, and then 2 more in the tenths place. But we know the answer here is 1 plus 2. That's going to equal a 3 in the tenths place. We can see the 3 dots. So that's going to equal 3/10 in total, and we write 3/10 as a decimal as 0.3. Let's move on to letter B. It says 14/10 plus 9/10. So we have 14 in the tenths column, okay, plus 9 more in the tenths column. Now again, we could do 14 dots and 9 dots, but 14/10 plus 9/10, that's going to give us 23/10, okay? So that's 23/10. But we know in place values, we're not going to put a number larger than 9 in a single place. So we've got to use the idea that 23/10 is the same as 20/10 plus 3 more tenths, and these 20/10 can be exchanged for 2 ones. Okay, so we're going to change in those 20/10 for 2 ones. So now we have 2 ones and 3/10. So that's 2 ones and 3/10. And that's written in standard form as 2 in the ones place and a 3 in the tenths place. So that's 2 and 3/10. Now we're going to move to letter D. We're going to skip C for this video. Letter D says 27 hundredths plus 5 hundredths. So we have 27 hundredths. We're adding 5 more hundredths, and that's going to leave us with 32 in the hundredths column. But again, we don't want a digit larger than 9 in this column. So we think about this as 30 hundredths plus 2 hundredths, and those 30 hundredths can get exchanged for 3 of the next largest place, which is tenths. So 3/10 and then 2 extra hundredths. So we have 27 hundredths plus 5 hundredths equals a total of 32 hundredths, which can then be rewritten as 3/10 and 2 hundredths. And if we write that in standard form, we have a 0 in the ones, we have a 3 in the tenths, and we have a 2 in the hundredths, and we read that as 32 hundredths. Letter G. We have 6/10 plus 3 thousandths. Okay, so we have a 6 in the tenths place and a 3 in the thousandths place. Okay, and that's going to be equal to how many thousandths? So in this case, they want it all in the thousandths place. So we need to exchange. The 6/10 can be exchanged for 60 hundredths. Every one of these can be exchanged for 10 of these. And again, every one of these can be exchanged for 10 of these. 60 times 10, every one of these is going to be worth 10, and if you have 60 tens, that's going to be worth 600 thousandths, plus the 3 already. So 6/10 plus 3 thousandths is a total of 603 thousandths, which is written as 0.603. Okay? And last but not least, letter H, 7 ones and 2 tenths. So we'll put a 7 in the ones column, a 2 in the tenths column, plus 4 more tenths, plus 4 tenths. And that's equal to how many tenths? So 2 tenths plus 4 tenths is equal to, and sorry I'm squeezing here, 6 tenths. But then we've got the 7 ones which need to be exchanged for tenths, and that's 70 more. So we have the 70 here, plus the 6 we had before. That's going to yield 76 tenths. And we write 76 tenths. Again, we're going to sort of go backwards here when we write it in standard form and re-exchange the 70 for 7 ones. So we have 7 ones and 6 tenths is our standard name. Okay? Now let's move on to number 2. It says solve using the standard algorithm. Well, we need to make sure we're adding ones to ones and tenths to tenths and hundredths to hundredths. So we have 0 ones, 3 tenths, and we're adding to that 0 more ones, 8 more tenths, and 2 hundredths. Now, often it's easy to think about adding a 0 here because we do indeed have 0 hundredths up here, and that sort of helps us see. We're adding 0 hundredths in the first number to 2 hundredths in the second number. That leaves us with 2 hundredths. We have 3 tenths here plus another 8 tenths here. That's 11 tenths, but we can't put 11 in the tenths place. So we're going to think about 10 of those 11 tenths as becoming a single 1. And we have 1 tenth left over. And now we have the 1 single 1 added to the 0 ones, and we get a total of 1 in the ones place. So the answer is 1, 1, 1 tenth, and 2 hundredths, or 1 and 12 hundredths. We're going to skip B and C for the video, and we're going to go here. We have 5 tens, 7 ones, 0 tenths, and 3 hundredths, and we're adding 2 ones, 0 tenths, and 8 hundredths. 3 hundredths plus 8 hundredths is 11 hundredths, but we can't put 11 hundredths here. So we take 10 of those hundredths and make it a tenth, and we have 1 hundredth left over to stay in the hundredths place. So we have 1 tenth plus 0 is 1 tenth. We have 7 ones plus 2 ones is 9 ones, and 5 tens plus no tens is 5 tens. So we have 59 and 11 hundredths. And last but not least, we're going to skip 3. So we're going to skip E and F and 3. We're going to go to 4. Meyer has 64 hundredths gigabytes of space remaining on his iPod. Okay, he wants to download a pedometer app, a photo app, and a math app, and each of them has this many gigabytes, takes up this many gigabytes of storage space. Which combination of apps can he download? Well, the idea here is that whatever he downloads, it can't exceed the 0.64 gigabytes. So what are the possible combinations? He could download the pedometer plus the photo app. He could try to download the pedometer plus the math app. He could try to download the photo app plus the math app. And he could try to download all 3. We're going to see which ones are viable, which ones are possible. So if he does the pedometer plus the photo, that's 0.24 gigs plus 0.403 gigs. And we're going to add those together. We'll make short work of it. So, can he download the pedometer plus photo? Well, he only has 0.64 gigabytes, but this combination will yield 0.643. This is too much. So the answer here is no. He cannot download those two. The pedometer plus math. Here we have 4 hundredths, 5 tenths. Can he download this? It looks like it. Yep. This is underneath the storage limitation, so yes. Photo plus math, 3 thousandths, 0 hundredths, 7 tenths, 0 ones. Is this underneath the... No, it is not, right? This is 64 hundredths, this is 70 hundredths, and then some. So the answer here is no. And can he do all 3? Well, of course not. If he can't even do 2 of them, he certainly couldn't add another one on. So the answer here is he can download the pedometer plus the math apps. And that's that.